Welcome to How Excellent with me, Trell Thomas, the podcast where people who personify excellence are given a seat at the table. Set right here at my very own kitchen table, we break bread and have real conversations rooted in culture, purpose, and of course, Black excellence. Together, we journey back to what life was like around their own dinner tables, exploring family dynamics, upbringing, and the lessons that shaped them. This is where stories are shared, excellence is honored, and we uncover how they became who they are today. How excellent is that? Joining me at the family table today is someone who has made millions laugh while staying rooted in faith, family, and truth. You know him as KevOnStage, a comedian, actor, entrepreneur, and creator of the hit show Churchy on BET+. Today, we're slowing it down to meet the man behind the laughter. Family, please welcome Kevin Fredericks.
Come on, man. You better welcome me. Thank you so much for having me, man. This is great. I got my own personal Black Excellence brunch.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. Yeah, that's the vibe. It's just all for you, man. All for you.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. I feel good. The chicken smell good.
Good.
The waffle look good.
Well, you know, this is from Fixins.
I love me some Fixins.
Me too.
They serve Kool-Aid down at Fixins.
Kool-Aid with a little bit of alcohol.
A little alcohol in a mason jar. I don't tell nobody. You can say, let me get red. And they know.
They know
what you're talking about.
They know exactly what you're talking about.
God bless them.
Well, before we dig into the Fixins, will you bless the honor, bless the food for us?
Father God, in the matchless name of Jesus, we come before you, God, thanking you for the bird that died for us. You died for our sins. This died for our breakfast. We thank you, big God, big sandals, for all you've done for us. We thank you for the hands that prepare this food. That'd be nourishment to our body. Even though it's fried, let the nourishment part still go in.
Come on.
There's something good in there underneath the grease and the oil and the salt. Let us get some protein or something like that. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
And you gave me a little wing.
Yeah,
I
you
love
know
it.
I'm
I'm
saying?
gonna just cut the little. That little crispy is crispy.
The crunch.
Oh, that crispy is crispy.
The crunch.
God bless you. God bless you. Thank you, Brother Trell.
Of course, man. Of course. I'm just grateful to have you here with me at my kitchen table, man. And I wanna talk to you really about what it was like growing up for you. I'm gonna let you chew.
Yeah, it was real crunchy.
But yeah, man, I really wanted these conversations to be about our upbringing, what our family dynamic was like growing up. Because, Black Excellence Brunch is based around the family tradition of Sunday dinner.
Yep.
And so that was such an important place in my home growing up. Like so many conversations were had around the Sunday dinner kitchen table, so much love.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to bring that love here. And so I want to ask you and just learn a little bit about what was it like for you? Obviously, you grew up in the church.
Yeah.
Sunday dinner right after church was a big thing. What was that like?
It was like loud, hot, old gospel playing, Mahalia Jackson. This might sound stereotypical, but it's true. Mahalia Jackson, Andre Crouch, Winans, Mighty Clouds of Joy, John P. Key, old gospel, getting dressed. My grandma, bless her heart, she used to walk around in bra and panties, no teeth in. The big panties pulled up to where the bra and the panties almost meet. Full coverage. T-shirt and my panties on, but not in a sexy way. And no t-shirt. And she would be like, if you don't like it, you get your own place. And I'd be like, amen. So, but I just remember we was always getting ready for church, stockings, and when I was young, we was wearing full suits to church, patent leather shoes. My sister had barrettes in her hair, hot combs, grease, and loud music. And this, the Black community always gets on me for not knowing Anita Baker. But the truth is we only listen to gospel. Like only gospel in my grandma's house, in her car, there was no other place to listen to music really in my life. I didn't have no Walkman. I didn't have no CD player. So the only music I got to listen to was what was played for me from like birth to like 10, something like that. So that's why. I wasn't avoiding her. And she did a song with the Winans, but in my family, if you do, that's the secular one. We don't listen to that. So, and it was a gospel song, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, a lot of laughter. I remember we had that big floor model TV that everybody had with another TV on top of it eventually.
Exactly.
Once that big booty TV went out, big Bible on top of that TV. I remember we used to watch Star Search as a family together. It was one of my vivid memories. We used to have pie after Sunday, because we used to go to church for, Sunday school, Sunday morning service, often 3:30 service, night service. And I remember after night service, we'd watch Star Search and eat pie. You know what I'm saying? Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
And what y'all gonna do? Y'all can't whoop me. Y'all can't stop me. It's my life. But we used to have pound cake and sweet potato pie too. But sometimes we had pumpkin pie. But yeah, it was a great upbringing. No, didn't have a lot of money. Remember, I grew up in a 3-bedroom house with 9 people and a dog. And my grandma, it was her house, so she had her own room. So my great grandma, my mom, my aunt shared a room. Me, my brother, and 2 uncles shared a room. So me and an uncle on the bottom bunk, my brother and an uncle on the top bunk. Oh, and my sister was also in the room with my mom, grandma, and aunt. So 4, and my grandma was like, I paid the rent, so I'm having my own room. And mad respect to her. So yeah, it was great though. Like, we didn't have a lot of money, but nobody had a lot of money. So it wasn't like a thing. Like, it wasn't a thing I noticed or knew about until much later in life. For all intents and purposes, I had a great life. You know what I'm saying? Going to McDonald's was great. It was rare, like once, twice a year, great report cards, straight A's. Or my friend Noel, who was filthy rich, even though he was poor and lived next door to me. He felt filthy rich because he got to go to McDonald's often, and he had the actual toys that you saw on TV. He had like a Ninja Turtles blimp with all the actual men. I had Walrus Man, Karate Man. They didn't have bendable arms. Karate Man like this.
Right.
G.I. Joes, they had limbs. They had guns. He had the cars. But again, it was great.
Man, it's so funny that you mentioned McDonald's. I have to say it was Pizza Hut for me.
Yeah, it was Pizza Hut. Was good,
yeah, like you knew you were like, I did something good. I'm going to Pizza Hut.
You read them books.
Yeah,
you got that personal pan pizza.
Book it,
man.
That was it.
Yeah, that pizza at that time was good. I don't feel like Pizza Hut tastes the same anymore.
It's not the same.
No,
but they have. They have a vintage one in Georgia.
And really?
It looks like the old Pizza Hut. It's like the same ingredients and everything. It's only one. Yeah,
I will go there for that because they used to be number one. It wasn't close, but now it's close.
Yeah, I love you sharing about how it felt. Like it felt good, even though you didn't know, and I can relate to that. And I think growing up also shapes a lot of how our personality, how we become as a person, our character. And I want to know, like, people widely know you as being like funny and a comedian, but were you the jokester in the family, or was it somebody else that you got it from?
What's funny? It was everybody. I didn't really stand out as the funny person because everybody was funny. My brother, my mom, my sister, my grandma, my great grandma, uncles, like everybody was funny. So I feel like I just like grew up in a funny household. I was the only one who like eventually went on stage to tell jokes, but I come from a very funny family. My mom is really funny to this day. Like she says some wild stuff as much as a 60-year-old woman can say. But yeah, I never felt like I was the funny one. I remember being like the one who performed more. Like I would repeat what happened in church. And they'd be like, Kev, do Sister Daniel's shout, or do whatever Washington, how he preached when he messed up that word, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But nobody was like not funny. So I don't think I stuck out. I just think I thought everybody's family was like that.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
Did y'all, you mentioning the reenactments, did y'all play church? Like
Absolutely.
Man, that was the thing for us.
For hours.
We
would go to church for hours. Sit in the back and then replay church, preach our own sermons, do choir rehearsal, sing. We were big playing church, which is really the first thing I started doing as a performer was play church. You know what I'm saying? So I've been getting the like, don't mock God since the beginning. But I've also known that a lot of times secretly people think it's funny. They just don't want to say it publicly. But yeah, I would play church all the time. Play church, play house. Amen.
Yeah, amen. Another podcast.
Yeah, another podcast another day.
But You know, I want to talk to you about that. That you mentioned people kind of like have some of the commentary has been, oh, like you're mocking God or
Mhm.
that's blasphemous. Like, how does that affect you, and how do you kind of like get around that? You
You
know?
know, early on, it really affected me because I was like, I mean, I'm talking about pre-internet. Like I used to do this just me and my homeboy aunt in Washington
Mhm.
with no cameras. We used to go and perform in churches doing, you know, a version of stand-up comedy. We were in character, two old men called Clayton and Earl, and we used to, you know, basically play church, do a lot of stuff that became the Playmakers jokes and jokes on stage or were derived from jokes that I did early. And I remember one time we were performing and one of the district missionaries hated it. And she got up and was like, God is not pleased. And she walked out and then a whole bunch of people followed her like when Birdman left the Breakfast Club. And we were like, oh, snap. And then we just kept going.
Mm.
And it kind of like what I took from that is like, everybody's not going to like what you do.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you should necessarily stop doing it. And no matter how, because at that time we weren't even doing anything risque. We were just doing stuff that we actually saw in church, like preachers going, like that wasn't even mocking. I mean, we were mocking the preacher, but like that's not mocking God. And I found out kind of early on that, you know, church is very sacred, and it is to me too. But it's like so sacred to some people that it can't be made fun of. And I come from the school of thought as everything is funny. And because a lot of my leaders would laugh in private, but not in public, I was just like, sometimes people don't feel comfortable being or laughing at something, or they don't want to be seen a certain way, but it doesn't mean they actually don't find it funny.
Yeah.
They just can't necessarily be seen laughing. And I realized we perform in churches a lot of time. If the pastor laughs, the members laugh.
Mm-hmm.
If the pastor doesn't laugh, the members don't laugh. If the pastor laughs and then stops laughing, they'll laugh and then stop. Pastor doesn't laugh and then starts, they'll laugh and then start. So that made me realize, oh, sometimes people just aren't free to be themselves. You know, they just don't want to disrespect a pastor. So I've been on a journey of like doing what I believe in, what I can stand by, and being okay if the audience doesn't like that. That is your choice. That's your right. I can't make you stay. You don't have to like it. Some people come back. Some people don't like me and won't try. And some people like me for a long time and then change their mind. I'm okay with all of that. I'm eternally blessed to do what I do. But even all my content is not even church related. Right. So a lot of it is the thing I know the most about. And to me, it's the thing I'm the most funniest about because it's what I have the most wealth of knowledge about. But I can play in other spaces too. So it's okay.
When did you realize that comedy wasn't just something that you did, but something that you were called to do, like your ministry in a sense?
Oh, I don't even know if I would say it's my ministry versus it's something I like to do and it's my job. Ministry to me are like fruits of the spirit type of stuff. And I would never equate what I do to ministry, although people have said like it ministers to them.
Yeah, it definitely ministers to me. Yeah.
But I wouldn't consider it ministry just because I don't want to go down that road with the Lord's people. It ain't ministry. I just want to make you laugh. Even though the Bible says laughter is like a medicine. And even though people have said like, yo, Kev, during the pandemic, you really got me through a rough period of time. Or when I lost somebody that was important to me, I knew I could go to your videos and watch them. That stuff really impacts me, but I shy away from saying it's a ministry. But I'll let you say it.
Yeah, it is a ministry. I think that what I've learned along my journey is a lot of times the things that I was in a sense belittled for or became the things that people really appreciated about me and that led me to all of these purpose-filled places.
For sure.
You know, and so when I hear you talk and when I, take in your content, I often think like, wow, like he's really doing a service to people that is healing, that is helpful, and that allows people to, like you mentioned earlier, really embrace being themselves.
Yeah.
Which is a hard thing to do.
Very hard. Very hard.
You know?
Yeah, I'm grateful for, I always cite PJ Morton. He had a book and I think an album called Why Can't I Write About Love or Sing About Love? And I remember as a church kid, I was afraid to like write jokes that weren't church. Like to me, I always wanted to talk about everything that was funny to me.
Yeah.
And church was always a part of that, but so was growing up Black, so was dating, all that stuff. And I felt more comfortable as I kept going to do comedy in clubs, because in the church, I respected that you can't talk about everything. Mm. Right. Some things are okay, but not necessarily appropriate, especially on the pulpit. I have deep respect for being on that pulpit, which is where I've had to stand and perform. But PJ Morton being able to say, I feel like this is what I'm okay doing this with my life, kind of gave me the courage to follow that path. And hopefully me having the courage because of PJ to follow that path will lead somebody else to be like, I follow. But that's why I always say I'm not a Christian comedian. I'm a comedian who is a Christian, because I think that's a very stark difference. You're a Christian comedian, then that determines what your material should be, how appropriate it should be. But like, I consider myself like if I owned a restaurant, I wouldn't say it's a Christian restaurant. Mm-hmm. I just own a restaurant and I'm a Christian. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I think of it.
Yeah. And I love that you brought up the fact that like your platform is broader than, this one specific thing. And this conversation has gone across, channels online, on social media a lot about the responsibility that comes with having a large platform. Yeah. What, if any, responsibility do you feel, and how do you really carry that?
Yeah, it's tough because in a lot of ways I feel like, quote unquote, a regular person. I haven't changed anything internally about how I see the world. But what has changed is the perception of me and the amount of people who follow me, and therefore my influence. So sometimes that's a tricky road to follow because you just feel like you're just a guy like everybody else. But that's not how people see you. So you have to be careful about what you say, how you say it, what you talk about, because for example, I'll give you an example. A friend of mine makes merch, and he was using some celebrity images that he did not have the license for. And I was like, yo, that's dope. Like, yo, could you make some for me? I'll sell it as merch. And he was like, no, man, you're too big for that. He's like, I can get away with this because I kind of got a small platform. I don't have a lot of customers. I can take the stuff down. I got an email list. He was like, if you do this, you're going to get sued. And in my head, I'm like, but we're the same. He's like, Kev, you got 2 million followers on Instagram. Like, the celebrity is going to see this. So I think that is what it like boils down to for me, is like, sometimes I can't say or do the thing that everybody says or does because of my platform, but there's no real blueprint to this of what you can say or do, or there's nothing to follow. So we're kind of just making it up as we go. And that can be difficult sometimes, because sometimes you're just being funny or talking about what other people are talking about. But because you have a platform, your words are weighted differently. So therefore your responsibility is different as well.
Yeah, you're right. And you're right too. There it really is no blueprint. And I love the fact that one thing that I really like about you is you really been forging your own path, And so I want to talk to you a little bit about that because, again, something that's not necessarily easy to do. Yeah. This entrepreneur life is different.
Very.
it's different.
Very.
And you were able to not only launch your platform and do sold out shows, but you were able to create something that landed on a major network, and it was all just from here, and here. And so I want to talk to you about like that process.
Yeah, I think, the first part was, when I first started like pitching Churchy, I didn't have the money to make it. So I was pitching it everywhere, all over town for years. This is probably prior to the pandemic, for years, developing it, pitching it, getting told basically no by anybody who would take a meeting with me. And then by the grace of God, I got a Spectrum commercial, and I started to think like, maybe if I just made this, I could put it out and kind of show people that people would like it. Cause that was one of the big concerns. It's like, oh, it's how's middle America going to feel about it? That was one of the pushbacks I got often, which is often coded language for like, how are white people gonna like this? But there's black people in middle America. I always say this, from Oklahoma to St. Louis to Toledo, Ohio, Chicago, Detroit. Those are all middle America. That's the Midwest. You can't tell me there ain't no black people there, because I've been there and the black people have been outside. So when I made Churchy, I made it to put on my app, KevOnStage Studios, rest in peace. I'll always be forgotten. I mean, you will never be forgotten. I just said you'll always be forgotten. I meant you never be forgotten. And it was a smash for me and relative to my audience. But then it kind of went away. Like, people watched it, they had a good time, they shared it, but it kind of dwindled down. And then the next Christmas, I got a call from an executive who was like, yo, I've been a part of your app. Me and my wife just watched the show over the Christmas break. We loved it. I think I might be able to help you get it sold. And then in a matter of short months, BET acquired it. And I remember being like, I don't know how this happened. And I didn't pitch BET specifically, so maybe that's part of the reason why. Maybe they would have been the network that bought it. But also, I think it's just as possible they could have passed on it. And the reason they acquired it is because it was already done. And I think that's a benefit that I have that I encourage people to do. Like, you can work with something that's already done. It's much more risky in the idea phase, in deck form, on a PDF, on your laptop, much more risky. But saying, here's 8 episodes, 20, 30 minutes. Now all you got to do is put it on your network. Now, of course, I acknowledge that everybody doesn't have the money to do that. But at whatever level you can prove the concept, prove it at that concept. And I did a lot of that stuff on iPhones and things like that before. Got to the point where I could make the money to save it. But a lot of times, a lot of my career has been successful because the stuff's already done. And not even perfect. Like, there was massive mistakes in Churchy season 1. And I always use this example because people are so afraid to make a mistake that they just don't do anything at all. But Game of Thrones is one of my favorite shows of all time. $1 million show.
Me too.
Really?
Hated the ending.
We all do.
But I loved it.
It ended at season 6 for me. The last 2, just, we pretend that didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
But that show has multi-million-dollar budgets, hundreds of cast, crew, extras, and a coffee cup from Starbucks, which did not exist in the fantasy world of Game of Thrones, was on the table in an episode that made it to TV. I remember this went viral on Twitter. They might have edited that out now, but I remember seeing that. And I remember thinking, y'all got all this money, so many millions of dollars. It's countless people's job to make sure that doesn't happen. Props, set deck, PAs, AD, editors. So many people saw that in real time, saw it on the edit, saw it in the notes process. I mean, final pass. For whatever reason, it made the final cut. So if a company of that much resources and millions of dollars can make a mistake, now why you think you're going to make it perfect? Right. So just make it. You don't have to be perfect to win. You watch the Super Bowl, it's coming up as we shoot this. They don't complete every pass. Every play is not forward. They don't always win without throwing an interception or making a mistake. You don't have to be perfect to win. And I think people think you got to be perfect or you lose. Every president that's ever won has had millions of people vote against them from every state I don't want you. I don't want you. I want the other guy or the other lady. They still won. Every basketball champion has missed a shot, lost a game. Every track racer has lost a race. You've failed. The Black excellence bunch don't always go perfect.
Man.
We don't see what the mistakes are. And that's the other thing. Oftentimes, the person viewing it don't even see it right. Or don't care.
Right.
Or accepts it.
Right.
And I think if more people just accepted that there's going to come mistakes. Like if I were to tell you, Trell, you're going to go from whatever you're doing before Black Excellence Brunch to being able to do this at a level you never believed. And with brands, you're going to buy a house, all that. But it's going to come with some challenges. Would you be like, well, I don't want it then?
No. Yeah, absolutely not.
And I know where you're going, where I'm going. It's impossible not to make mistakes, draw the ire of people. It's impossible. But where I want to go, I'm going to have to just be prepared to take those lumps. Because I would rather do that, take some failures, take some losses, have to apologize, make some mistakes, then never try anything, right? And I think that the internet, because it's so vast, we are inundated with so much negativity. It feels personal, but a lot of times them people talking to you ain't even try to do what you're doing.
Man.
So how you gonna let somebody who ain't even trying to do what you do prevent you from trying? Sometimes they want to bring you down because if they can stop you, they feel a little bit better about not trying on their own. And I won't be that person for you. I'm gonna make you feel bad because at least you're gonna criticize what I completed. At least it's gonna be on TV.
Right.
You can say I don't act well, I don't write well, I'm not funny, but it's gonna be up there for you to watch.
Right.
You're gonna criticize my completion. You're gonna criticize an idea I gave up on.
Man, that's the word.
See it. I'm killing
that's
today.
The word. I'm telling you.
I ain't got no amen. Y'all in here being fun. You in here taking a picture and you in here producing and taking camera. It's only Trell's gonna show me some love. And the other lady left out. She need to be in here hearing this word.
Come on now. Bring the congregation back in. Man, you preach. Let's have some fun.
Okay, cool.
This segment, we're gonna have a little bit of fun.
All right.
We are preparing for our own personal Sunday dinner. Well, you're preparing for your own personal Sunday dinner. And I'm gonna ask you, who has a seat at your table, and what can they bring with them? Because you know, when you go to somebody's house for food, there's always who bought what. So we're gonna figure out.
Are these celebrities?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, okay. No, I got to create a whole thing, or you gonna ask me?
I'm gonna ask you.
Okay, cool. Okay, got it.
All right. So the mac and cheese.
Okay.
Who is bringing what to dinner? This is the game that we're playing.
Yeah.
So it's your Sunday dinner. You're gonna invite these people, and they get to bring this dish.
Okay.
So the mac and cheese, we got the options of Miss Debbie Allen, Miss Viola Davis, or Angela Bassett.
Okay.
Mac and cheese.
Angela Bassett's out. Too focused on fitness.
It's not gonna be cheesy enough.
Yeah, I just feel like Angela Bassett might be low fat cheese, 2% milk, because she's in fantastic shape. Viola Davis, Debbie Allen. I'm gonna go Debbie Allen. Seasoned, experienced, a little bit older. The older you are, the more chances you've made the macaroni and cheese.
She's gonna have that music playing when she's
cooking.
It's
gonna have the love.
It matters, yeah.
She might be dancing in the kitchen. You can feel that. You can taste that in the cheesiness and the creaminess of the mac and cheese. So of the given people, I'm gonna go Debbie Allen on the mac and cheese. I feel safe with that. Final answer.
Final answer is Debbie Allen. Mac and cheese.
Okay.
All right. The ribs.
Okay.
Ribs, all right.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Idris Elba.
Okay.
We got Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
And we have Don Cheadle.
All right. Idris is out. He's British. British and American people have very different takes on food.
Yes.
Okay. Michael B. Jordan's out. Too fitness.
Oh, the fitness.
He got abs. I read up on his workout program for Creed. He's too serious.
He's
too serious.
Okay.
So Don Cheadle, also, he's over 50. Same thing with the mac and cheese. It's a lot. He probably have some Unk sandals.
Yep.
Over 50. See it. Leather sandals, ashy heels, ribs smoked to perfection. So I'm gonna go Don Cheadle. Final answer.
Don Cheadle for the ribs.
Yes.
You know what? I think I would eat Don Cheadle's ribs.
Don Cheadle probably smoke a good rib.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
He probably smoke a good rib.
When you said the sandals, I was like, you know what?
And he probably would wear those sandals.
Yeah, exactly.
He's of age.
Exactly. All right. Okay. We got two more for you.
Okay.
The potato salad.
Whoa, now this is key. Who made the potato salad?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
All right. We got Beyonce.
Okay.
We got Kelly Rowland. And we got Michelle Williams.
Michelle.
Okay.
Michelle is a church girl. She's probably been to many a church potluck.
You know what?
She sings praise team. She's probably in charge of it. She also has a lot of bad food takes. I think she has sugar and grits. She does something, or pumpkin pie. She does something that people
like. She likes candy corn, but I like candy corn. So I'm with her on that.
But to my mind, you got to stand for what you believe in. Too many people let people ridicule them and bully them out of their own food choices.
Like pumpkin.
I hate pumpkin pie, but I'm gonna stand on mine. Candy corn is abysmal, but that's your palate and her palate. So I'm gonna take. And I think they're all church girls, but I know Michelle Williams sang praise team. She good in Kojic. So I'm gonna take Michelle Williams.
You know what?
She's a sweet person too.
I thought Kelly be cooking.
I didn't know this about her.
Yeah, sometimes she posts about like
I ain't
cooking,
never
but
seen
Beyonce told her she can't cook. Or she
So
doesn't cook.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
I think I'll go with I like Michelle Williams. I like Michelle
Michelle's
Williams too.
good.
All right, the last one.
Okay.
The pumpkin pie. You have nobody. Nobody's
Nobody's
not Nobody's not option. I really had to think about this one because
well, who would even try it? Most black people don't want to be nowhere near it.
Wait. Have some people play.
Okay.
Kerry Washington.
Okay.
Octavia Spencer.
Okay, she made that pie to help.
Maya Rudolph.
Rudolph mixed. So she might appreciate it more than Carrie. I'm gonna go Maya. Maybe that white side of her gonna be like,
she gonna puree that pumpkin.
If I can get half of her body to be like, I don't mind this. Because black people, we be so indignant about the pumpkin pie. They can make it good. I've been telling people, Trell, if you put as much sugar in pumpkin pie as you did sweet potato pie, they probably wouldn't taste at all different. Nobody want to hear me. So I'm gonna go Maya Rudolph. That's my best shot. Okay. Most of the time I buy my pumpkin pie from the grocery store. And people hate that even more.
I'm sure that you do. Yeah. And what grocery store? Because I actually look for pumpkin pie for this.
It's out of season, baby. It's out of season. We about September through like January 3rd.
Pumpkin pie is probably seasoned 2 weeks.
Costco make a good one, but Ralph's probably my favorite.
Okay.
Just that Ralph's right on the middle thing, the little front of house display. Perfect. Grab it on my way in, go right and pay for it.
I don't know if I trust any of the choices that you made prior to.
That's how black people be. You like pumpkin pie, they don't want to hear you.
I don't
really want to hear what you like, what movies you like. I don't care what you like.
I'm a Melissa.
My whole family hates it too. Melissa and the boys are like, don't bring this in the house.
It's just you, the pumpkin pie.
It's just me, all to myself.
Man. All right, let's be serious for a second.
Okay.
All right. At the family table,
okay.
And elder men are sitting around or have the opportunity. You have the opportunity to sit with the elder man, to just talk about life and get wisdom and instruction from, and to discuss kind of the man you become.
Mm-hmm.
Who is sitting around the table?
Okay. Oh, I can pick.
Yeah, you can pick.
Oh, anybody from history?
Anybody.
Or live?
Anybody.
Okay, man, this is great. This is my dinner.
Yeah, it's your dinner.
I picked Jay-Z. Because
Okay.
usually got to pay $500,000 or dinner with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
So since I don't have to pay, I like to pick his brain.
Yeah.
Barack Obama, because he had to deal with a level of scrutiny and stress that most people never are subject to, I'd be curious to listen to him on how he handled that level of, like, his tan suit became national news for weeks. So, like, how did he keep his mental focus there? Is this men or women or just men?
Men.
Men? Okay, you said men. Robert Townsend.
Oh, that's good.
I'm a huge Robert Townsend fan. He was another person who just was like, I'm going to make what I want to see. Hollywood Shuffle. I love a lot of his movies. 5 Heartbeats. Meteor Man. Mm-hmm. Creatives. He's talked about, you know, if you love something, you might have to work a regular job. And then after work, you create. You know, sometimes he was saying that people don't always have all day to create. But if you really love it, you find the time. And he's just like a trailblazer pioneer to me. On that same level, Keenen Ivory Wayans, who the first comedy I remember seeing was I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, starring Keenen Ivory Wayans. And I believe he wrote it as well. And the Wayans family tree of funny is there's no rival to me, period. Not in black, period, point blank, in Hollywood. I feel like they don't get enough flowers at all. Shout out to Kim Wayans. She just started making her own YouTube show. And I just think they're so creative. It just pours out of them. Mm-hmm. So Keenen Ivory Wayans. TD Jakes. Greatly admire Bishop Jakes. I would love to sit and talk with him. He's been a big part of, as a church kid, he was like the biggest, the largest. Shout out to Big X the Plug. Mm-hmm. And He also is one of the few pastors of his stature who's actually sat down and passed the mantle while he was alive. That just doesn't happen in the churches I grew up in. That man died.
Yeah.
He died as the pastor, acting pastor, retiring or passing on, and he passed it on to his daughter.
Yeah, which is also
equally
beautiful. Yeah.
Equally beautiful and rare.
Yeah.
I can't think of another time or another person of that level who passed it on to a daughter, and he has sons. So for sure, TD Jakes. One more. Okay. Let me think of somebody I truly admire.
You got Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
You got Robert Townsend.
Yeah.
You got Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Yeah.
You got
it's a great list.
TD Jakes. Man, this is I want to sit at the table. Can it be?
You come on here, Trell. Bob Johnson.
Good.
Who created BT.
Yep.
He saw a opening, capitalized on it, sold it for $1 billion. And it's pretty much the gold standard of Black entertainment from my childhood. I'd love to see, and he wasn't rich prior to this. And I was thinking Eddie Murphy. I know you said one. No, I just watched Eddie Murphy's documentary, and it's just like, I don't understand how I feel like he's underrated, even though he's rated so highly.
Wait, who is saying Eddie Murphy is underrated?
I'm nobody's saying he's underrated. I just think like, I didn't fully appreciate just how much he'd done, even though I appreciated him all the way, if that makes sense. I didn't realize he had a hit of an amazing thing in every decade.
Every single one.
And how young he started. Because his Saturday Night Live run was before I was like aware. So that was me kind of looking back. But he was on top of the world for a long time and never lost his mind, which I don't know how that happened. So I'd love to see how he kept his composure. I just want to... Part of me is I want to be able to keep my composure because I think the internet is a tool that negatively impacts us in a way that didn't happen to people prior. Like you got fan mail, but I feel like you don't have to open the letter and read it. I go to post my video on thing, the comments kind of come in. Maybe I'm going to train myself to just post and not look at the comments at all. But until I get to that point, them comments be stinging. Man. Sometimes.
That's good. I feel like, there weren't as many inhibitors, as far as like outside noise.
Yeah.
Which allows you to be like more creative. But I also think to your credit, to be able to create with all the noise around you is a special talent and gift.
I appreciate that. I think it's the internet's a great equalizer. We get access to everybody and it helps us do things we never would have been able to do without the internet. But at the same time, with that access comes the input of everybody.
Right.
And you can't really have one without the other. So sometimes I'm a trending topic on TikTok. I ain't did nothing, Trell. I just woke up and said, well, I don't like KevOnStage. Now what I did. I just took my dog for a walk. I miss your
now, a minute.
I'm over here petting the puppy. What I did. What I do to you. But at the same time, that TikTok only goes viral because of enough people know about me. Yeah. If you were just saying, I don't like, Robert Jones, and people don't know who Robert Jones is, it wouldn't get no traction. So, you kind of got to take the good with the bad.
No, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. And I feel like that's an important lesson for people. And I want to ask you, as we talk about like these guiding forces and people we want to gain information or insight from, what is some lesson in your like upbringing that really still sits with you today?
Oh, that's a good question. It's rare I hear a question for the first time. Okay, I don't cuss, and this is from a movie, but it's necessary. Bernie Mac once said, "If people don't like you, F them," and he slammed the table down. And I feel like you kind of gotta adopt that because, like I was saying, like. So many creators I know get almost paralyzed by the negativity. And I understand it because it can be unbearable. And I think for me, it's like, first of all, it's human nature to want people to like you. We are wired like that. And then as a comedian performer, you could be killing in front of 500 people. And if 2 are not laughing, number 499 and 500 are not laughing, your mind and your eyes just zero in on them. So the internet is just that idea magnified to the nth degree. So I think that philosophy of Bernie Mac of just do what you say, do what you feel is best, and stand 10 toes down. If people don't like you, F them.
Yeah.
And you got to push because you like, I say this all the time and I'm trying to get it in my mind. Nobody and nothing is universally loved. Not Beyonce, who I think is the greatest living entertainer. Not water, not Jesus, not ice cream, not barbecue, not puppies. There's something that I think is impossible to dislike and people dislike it. So if that's possible for them, then there's no way I'm going to be universally loved. So I got to just be able to roll with the punches, deal with it and move on, make my bed and go on about my day.
I agree. That's definitely a challenge that you have to move past. Another challenge that I've had to personally deal with and really navigate, and I want to know how you navigate this as well. Like when you might not feel your best, you might be sad, or for me, when my grandmother passed, I just remember, and it was at the height of like me doing a bunch of stuff, and I had to really like work through it all. And I know that you've been vocal about your brother's passing.
For sure.
How do you navigate those spaces and those times when things still have to be done, but you?
Yeah, I think, I'm actually working on a new one-man show called Grief Sucks about grief. And I'm going to touch on that. But part of it is like the world keeps turning and your bills are still due. And I remember at my brother's funeral, I was in the parking lot and people were just driving. It was like the church was kind of like on a busy street and it was a Saturday. So people driving and getting gas and stopping by Raising Cane's. And I'm looking around like, how dare y'all just going about do you order chicken tenders at a time like this? I'm having the worst day of my life. You talking about, can I get extra sauce? Do you know what's happening in this parking lot?
Right.
And I remember my brother passed on September 22nd. Would you believe on October 1st, my mortgage bill was still due?
Still due.
Can you imagine? Do y'all know what's happening? They're like, that's crazy. Do you want to keep living here? So I think that as harsh as it is, like, you got to keep living. Like the beauty of a long life is that it's going to be filled with loss. The only way to avoid loss is if you die early. But and I want to live long, so I've got to understand that people I love, things I'm not even able to do that I got to grieve. Grief ain't necessarily, I used to be able to play basketball. If I went and jumped 3 times, my knee might explode. You talk about a torn ACL, all tendons, all over the place. I can't just be running and jumping at 42. And I used to be a solid basketball player, Trell. That's the time before me. Okay? So I think, the people who are here have to continue. You don't have to go fast, but you do have to go. And I think that's really it. Like, and I want to learn how to explain this better, but this pastor, former pastor John O, he has this language that grief, we're taught grief is a journey. And he actually said grief is a language. And we have to learn how to speak that language because the journey implies that grief ends. Like I'm going to get to the end of grief. That has not been the case for me. I'm able to navigate certain circumstances differently, better, but I'm no less sad about my brother today than I was the day after. I'm just able to maneuver a little bit better, but I don't miss him less, if that makes sense. But I still got to go to work. Them kids still need Capri Suns in the bottom of the cupboard. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I know my brother well. I know he wouldn't wanted me to completely crumble and be useless for the rest of my life just because he got up and dead. That's his choice. Get up here and be dead. People die ain't never died before. That used to be really funny till it was him. Then I was like, dang, people really are dying who ain't never died before. And so, and also for me as a comedian, as an artist, part of processing grief is through my art. That is how I process life. And grief is a part of life. So it would be, there'd be no way for me to now not use what I need to get through it. If I were a painter, I would paint the best picture of him or my feelings to honor him. So I have to honor him with these jokes.
Man, I love that. To me, it reminds me of this saying of turning pain into purpose. And I really feel that. And that's how I similarly how I felt. I was just like, you know what? Let me redirect this pain. But, there's a fine line of, because I wanted to make sure I didn't ignore like how I was feeling.
For sure.
I was been in therapy.
Yeah.
And, a big thing for a lot of people is they skip over the emotion. And so it resurfaces as something else later down the line.
Yes.
Like, and I used to be the person where things happen, I wouldn't cry, I wouldn't do it. But then, like, if I tripped up and hit my shin, bawling.
Grandma!
Bawling.
Yeah,
and it was because I wasn't, it was because I
Yeah.
wasn't processing. It'll find its way out.
For sure. Or you have a stroke. A lot of black men don't process stress properly, and your body then processes it. Stroke, stress, heart attack, things like that. So it is better to deal with it in a healthy way. Otherwise, it's going to deal with you.
It's going to deal with you. That's so true. Yeah. I want to talk to you a little bit about legacy, because I believe that you're leaving such a strong legacy. I know you have 2 sons, and who, to me, like, from the little bit that I've been able to see, they seem like they're pretty funny themselves. Like, they have like very big
funny,
personalities.
very sharp in different ways. My youngest son, brother, we taught him sarcasm, and I wish we made a great mistake, because he's sarcasm without the lightness. He's just like pure sarcasm. Like, we were in Hawaii one time, and he was like, we were parents struggling with our kids aging, and he's like, "Can I go across the street to the mall?" And this is like last year, a year before last. So he's like 16. He's able, right? So he goes across the street to the mall. Me and my wife are in the hotel. Pins and needles. We shouldn't feel. There's nothing wrong with the baby. It's in Hawaii. Where y'all gonna take him? They gonna get him off the island. And he's heavy. He ain't fat, but he's solid. Solid, yeah. So my wife eventually texted me. He'd been gone for like an hour. She's like, "You all right?" He was like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I got kidnapped." All right. You think this is good? All right. Now if I pop you, I'm wrong. So, and my oldest son is funny in a different way. They both have stolen my sense of humor, and they don't laugh at my jokes. But then I hear them doing my bits to their friends. I'm like, "Oh, but I ain't funny. You over here stealing my stuff and my approach. And it's working on your friends." Yeah. I remember one time I was giving my son's friends a ride, my oldest son, and I do this thing where you start laughing, and I'll just join in. Like, "What's funny, y'all?" And his homegirl was like, to Isaiah, she's like, "Your dad made that up? I thought that was your thing." And he was like, "Sorry." And I was like, "You over here doing my stuff at school?" So yeah, they are very funny. My wife is also very funny. I feel like the world doesn't get to see how funny she is as much as I do, because she's not as boisterous as I am. Yeah, she's a little bit introverted. She's a little introverted. Whole conversation. Yes. Yeah. But on Threads, she's funny. She's funny in real life. Yeah. And she's opening up more and more. And I'm like excited to see people to see what I see. She's funny. She's silly. She's goofy. But she's also very smart, very intelligent, very business savvy, and all that type of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I'm the whole house is funny in their own way, but I'm the funniest. I want to see. Yeah, I want to see more of Melissa's humor. I resonate. We had this long conversation, like I mentioned, and I resonate with that. Like, people don't think that I'm funny, but I'm funny. You are funny, Trell. Yeah. I've been at the Black Excellence. You make people laugh every time I've been. I've been about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I think people 5, 6, 7. And 8 now, and with 8. Your very own. And you got the podcast. You say how excellent or flow excellent? How excellent, man. Okay, the H is doing a lot. It's my font. Your font is like how excellent. Yeah. I should have known it was how excellent, because I know you got that Churchy up in here. Yeah, Jesus excellent. Sorry. See? Yeah. Is this chicken? Oh, okay. Yep. Man, I think we have one more segment that we want to do. We like to end everything with a toast. So for this toast specifically, I'm going to teach you how to make your own Crown Royal whiskey sour. It's a part of the cocktail collection. They've actually got 9 of the cocktails. We're gonna do this one today. So I'm gonna make you a whiskey sour. All right, perfect. Watch and learn. Love me a whiskey sour. Watch and learn. Okay, so this is you making it for me? This is me making it. All right, that's perfect. Boom. Yeah, that's good. And I'm gonna make mine. Well, you was a pro at this. Man. You went down to that school and learned how to make that drink. Learn how to make it. All right, but wait, it's not ready yet. Okay. Because now it's ready. 5 star. Now it's ready. 5 star. Okay. Now I want to toast, but I'll let you do the honors. All right, cool. So what do you want to toast to? What are we toasting to? I'm going to toast to you. Man. To Trell. To the How Excellent Show with Trell Thomas, to Black Excellence Brunch. I think you're amazing. I think what you're doing in media and entertainment is amazing and necessary. And thank you for letting me be a guest.
Man, thank you for
To
coming.
Trell.
To Kev.
Oh, that's good.
It's good.
That's really good.
It's real good. Made by me.
You know, you was an impresario. You made it perfectly balanced.
Oh, what?
When you took the top off and poured it, it came out right.
Done. Man, I'm so thankful. And family, this is our time. Thank you for sharing this dinner with us. Remember, laughter can be medicine. Healing isn't linear. And your story still matters. And no matter where life takes you, you always have a seat at this table. Until next time, be well, be blessed, and keep shining. Thank you, man.
You're welcome. Thank you.